1947, after nearly 200 years of British rule.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially.
With the birth of the nation came the pain of partition. Over 10 million refugees had to be provided food, shelter, clothing, and a means of livelihood. 600-odd princely states were integrated with the Indian Union. India gave to itself a constitution to secure for all citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and opportunity, fraternity, the assurance to uphold the dignity of the individual.
On and from this, the 26th day of January 1950, India, that is Bharat, shall be a sovereign, democratic republic, and the Union and its component parts, the states, shall exercise all powers and functions of government and administration in accordance with the provisions of the said Constitution.
The next Betar takes the salute at the first Republic Day parade. Jawaharlal Nehru had foreseen that Republic Day should provide glimpses of India in its totality. When infiltrators tried to disturb the peace in the Kashmir Valley, Lal Bahadur Shastri, Prime Minister of India, speaking on Independence Day in 1965, said that India believed in India was compelled to take defensive action and fought a war. The Tashkent Agreement brought promises of peace. India has always championed the cause of peace and international cooperation.
The United Nations is the trustee of the world's peace and represents the hopes of mankind. Its very existence gives a feeling of assurance that the justice of true causes can be brought fearlessly before the world. This assembly and the agencies of the United Nations should, in all that they do, sustain those hopes and promote the causes of peace.
In 1967, the Jawaharlal Nehru Award for International Understanding was instituted to honor men of peace, the proved servants of the world. Again in 1971, hundreds of thousands of refugees from erstwhile East Pakistan poured into India in search of shelter. India sought to resolve the problem through peaceful means. On 3rd December 1971, the Pakistani Air Force launched a preempted attack on the Indian Air Force stations in the western sector. India took defensive steps. The Indian Army helped the Mukti Bahini of Bangladesh liberate their country. The 14-day war ended on the 16th of December with the signing of surrender documents at Dhaka, and Bangladesh, a new nation, was born. On Republic Day 1972, the country honored Amar Jawan, the immortal soldier of India, who paid the supreme sacrifice in the defense of our country's freedom. Republic Day that year was celebrated amidst jubilation with a victory of India's armed forces in the Bangladesh War. Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi was awarded the nation's highest honor, the Bharat Ratna. India extended the hand of friendship to Pakistan and, in a bid to establish peace in the subcontinent, signed the historic Simla Agreement. The 25th anniversary of Indian independence. On 15th August 1972, Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi asked the people to work towards making India a country of our dreams.
हमें अपनी शक्ति से बढ़ाना है। हम आजाद हैं 25 साल से, लेकिन जैसे मैंने कहा कि जैसी आजादी हमको चाहिए वो आजादी हमको नहीं मिली है। वो आजादी होगी जब प्रत्येक व्यक्ति, स्त्री, पुरुष और बालक की मन की आजादी भी हो, आर्थिक आजादी हो, सामाजिक आजादी हो। हम इस भारत को एक सुंदर भारत, एक साफ भारत, एक प्रगतिशील भारत, एक चमकता भारत हम बनाएंगे। ये आज हम सबको प्रतिज्ञा करनी है।
26 January 1975, India completed 25 years as a democratic republic. Mr. Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed was the president. India also entered the space age with her satellite Rohini. It was launched by SLV-3, an Indian-built rocket from the Space Center at Sriharikota.
The historic announcement on India's freedom was made on the 3rd of August 1947. And on the momentous night of August 14th, 1947, India geared itself to alter its history forever. The supreme sacrifice of generations of patriots had borne fruit, and a dream had been translated into a reality.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A moment comes, which comes but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends, and when the soul of a nation, long suppressed, finds utterance. It is fitting that at this solemn moment we take the pledge of dedication to the service of India and her people, and to the still larger cause of humanity.
In 1974, India tested a nuclear device in Pokhran. The response from the Western media was hostile. Nevertheless, the government of India stood by its contention. Pokhran was a part of India's attempts for peaceful use of nuclear energy.
Rather, it's the cumulative impact of all-round growth. If today Indians can feel secure, knowing that a highly professional defense machinery is watching out, It is because India's agriculture, industry, science, technology, trade and commerce made it possible. Defense mirrors the comprehensive growth of today's India. Another famous area of India's defense industry is the missile program. In 1989, India joined a select group of nations who have an IRBM, or Intermediate Range Ballistic Missile Capability. India successfully test-fired the Agni missile, thus culminating years of research and development. Having the fourth largest army in the world, which is a highly disciplined and trained fighting machine, India views defense purely from the point of deterrence. In a region where tensions and turbulence are not uncommon, the country has reached a point where it can take care of itself and defend itself against any external threat. India's growth in defense has been very much consistent with its threat perceptions. It's been a growth mindful of Indian needs. In the stage of world diplomacy, India and its foreign policy have come a long way. The concept of non-alignment, which is central to the Indian foreign policy, is globally respected. In the field of regional politics, India has been a strong supporter of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, or SAARC, comprised of India, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Distinctive Indian collective political, economic and cultural persona, that amazing rainbow reflection of the country's many ethnic, social and religious groupings, with strong undertones of pride and self-confidence, is what India's emergence is all about.
तो हमको तो देखना है कि हर मौके से ये नहीं कि एक पार्टी मजबूत होती है कि नहीं, सारा देश हर मौके को कैसे ले सकता है एकता बढ़ाने के लिए, देश की शक्ति, देश का मनोबल, देश का स्वाभिमान बढ़ाने के लिए, आत्मविश्वास बढ़ाने के लिए। ये है सबसे बड़ा काम। अब हमारे ऊपर एक दूसरी बड़ी जिम्मेदारी भी आई है, देश की तो है ही है, लेकिन कुछ बाहर के देशों का भी, लोग तो उसको नेतृत्व कहते हैं, मुझे नेतृत्व का नेता होने का शौक़ नहीं। हम तो कहते हैं कि हमें मौका मिला है कि इतने 101 देशों को अपने की सेवा करें हम किसी तरह से, लेकिन ये कहना पड़ता है कि हमारे ही बीच में भी मतभेद हैं, कुछ देशों में लड़ाई हो रही है और उसको हम रोक नहीं पाए, लेकिन कोशिश में हम लगे हैं, जैसे ईरान और इराक़ के बीच में। वहाँ के नेताओं से हर समय संबंध, खत किताबत है, दूसरे नेताओं से है कि क्या हो सकता है। बहुत से लोग यहाँ आए, हमारे अफसरान और मिनिस्ट्रान इन देशों में और दूसरे देशों में इस विषय पर गए और पूरी कोशिश हमारी जारी है। और भी देश हैं जहाँ झगड़े हैं। हाल में हमारे एक पड़ोस में भी एक झगड़ा उठ खड़ा। आपको तो मालूम है कि हमारी नीति हमेशा दोस्ती की रही है और हमने कोई रास्ता नहीं छोड़ा जिससे कि दोस्ती और मजबूत न हो, चाहे पाकिस्तान से या बांग्लादेश या नेपाल या श्रीलंका। ये हैं हमारे निकट के पड़ोसी।